is Prynx, but I go by the name Poetyk Prynx, thanks to what I do. Like I'm a performer, creative and all of that, so I prefer to go by the name Poetyk Prynx.
Yes. How old?
Big 3-0. Actually, by default, I'm a writer, a poet, and a spoken word artist. But over the years, I found myself doing other things on the side. So I've been into a lot into creative art business, so like graphic design, videography, photography, and then I find myself doing a lot of digital marketing as well. Yeah, so essentially, I like to keep myself as I like to think of myself as a 360 creative. Yeah. Personalization is just, actually for me. I honestly didn't know it had a name, but I usually find myself zoning out a lot. I usually find myself like getting lost in the middle of a task. Like I start something and all of a sudden I realize it's like an intrusive thought just come in, and then I forget what I was doing, or I'm in the middle of a serious conversation, and then probably maybe I just drop the phone to go get water, and I totally forget that I'm having a conversation with somebody. Yeah, it's a lot of uncompleted tasks, uncompleted conversations, missing out on deadlines, forgetting important days and stuff like that. Where like I would think that today could be Friday, and I'll be thinking that today is Wednesday, and then I treat Friday like it's Wednesday and forget that like I have certain tasks on Friday to do until like probably days later I was like, oh crap, I should have done this on a Friday and Friday is past gone. So it's been just full of like, uncompleted tasks, zoning, a lot of zoning out. Yeah, and there'll be days where I just don't want to do anything at all because when I realize that like I've missed out on a lot of things and I now have to catch up, and it's just like too much on me. My mind just go blank. I don't want to deal with it. So yeah. My earliest memory of this session is level 300 uni. That's when I really realized that. I mean, prior to then, I've been like, oh, something is actually wrong with me. But it was at that point I was writing an exams and I blanked out. Yeah, I blanked out, and I was thinking that we're writing, and I not knowing it was a serious exam, so I just blanked out. It was about 30 minutes later that I came back like to myself and realized that oh crap, this is serious. Like and I was like just panicky and just trying to like get myself through. And then that was the first time that like I had like a serious thought of it. Yeah. But I didn't know that after that time I didn't know that it's called dissociation. I just know that I blanked out and I zoned out. Yeah.
Okay. Um.
Uh, I've had a couple of that experience, but it's not as it hasn't been as often as like dissociation. I think for this one it's when things get extremely bad, like when I'm really in like this serious spell of dissociation where like everything is just dropping on me at one go, and then it just feels like a series of deja vu. It's like I've been here before. I'm feeling like I'm watching myself go through certain things that I have done already or I should supposed to be doing. So I've experienced a lot of that. But when I start to feel that way, I just know that like things have gotten really bad for me. So yeah, I've actually experienced that.
Mm.
I think again, most of all of these things, like I started getting conscious of them when I was in university, because around that time I was like going through a lot of changes in my life, and it was like I was at a crossroad, and all of it was just too much. Then I started dropping in grades like in school, and the idea for me of going to school was a way out of like the environment I was born into. So I was hoping that like if I go to school, I get like really good grades and stuff like that, and I get a good job, and then like my life is much more better. I can take my family out of where they are and all of that stuff. Then I started dropping grades, and then I started like feeling very awful about everything, because then I was scared of the fact that I'm not going to make it out of these circumstances, because now my grades are bad and I'm struggling to like keep up with school. And then schoolwork became too much, and then relationship with people was suffering because of these things. So there was the case of loneliness, there was the case of like longing for home, longing to belong, and then there was a case of like things not going on well at home. So like it was just all over the place. And there are days where I could just go weeks without actually taking care of myself, because I didn't see the point at that particular phase of my life. Every now and then, the idea of putting myself in front of a danger sounded really good to me. So there'll be days where I'll probably be walking, or like maybe on a footbridge, and then like, you know, the idea of walking off the footbridge, you know, just sounds so nice to me. Or probably I'm inserting a plug into a socket, then the idea that I could get electrocuted doesn't scare me, you know, that kind of stuff. So that's when I realized that, wow, it's, you know, I really don't want to be here anymore. So I think it was in uni that was my first experience with it, and I thought it was going to be a one-time thing where like if I pass through that phase and that'll be it. But every now and then, especially when I'm hit with like serious existential crisis, that I feel like I can't, like, you know, carry on. I just don't care for life anymore. You know, I just then begin to like the idea of putting myself in front of like a danger, something like that. Yeah.
So could you please expand more on your triggers?
So my triggers, I think one of it is stress overload, like when it's just too much. Like when I just hit that place where it's just too much, like stress. And the feeling of hopelessness. I don't know if I'm answering the question, but the feeling of hopelessness, the feeling of loneliness. I think I'm a very, very people person. So the moment I begin to feel not connected to a community of friends or a community of people and stuff like that, then the loneliness just starts to like, you know, eat me up. Then I don't begin to like care about any other thing else. I would also say my lack of certain resources, or my lack of access to certain resources at that particular point in time, where I feel like if I don't have access to this thing, then what's the point? Because when I begin to like get away of this one, like then what's the point? Because like I'm always going to be at this place for a very long time, so what's the point? So I think for me that's essentially it. You know.